Hello, welcome back to From Soft Serve. Today we're in new Londo Ruins to start with, but it's probably going to be just a hodgepodge video of things I've been doing. Also, I've been, in case you've missed it, I have been streaming the past 2 days at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then I stream for usually about 2 to 3 hours, but these times it's been 3 hours. And today I'll be streaming at 2 p.m. as well. Yeah, I've been looking for bugs in my mod, and I haven't really found any. I mean, I haven't, not like major ones. I think there's like a small thing that's like, oh, like a Capper Demon fog wall was kind of weird looking. I fixed that. But beyond that, I haven't found any like huge, oh, fuck. Oh my God. How did I not notice this? Oh my God. What the fuck? I think this is my fault. Yeah. So there's something that was originally here covering this, but I was doing some mesh editing here. And let's just take a little screenshot on that one, because I'm going to fix that. Oof. And yeah, so you can tell New Londo is wet. It already had been in my mod since I had modified the spec maps, some of them. And so now I went back through and modified more of them. But this time I actually used the albedo texture as the basis, not just modifying the current specular map. I actually went and actually stole the albedo texture I had upscaled and then just converted that into a spec map by basically just recoloring it. And then DSR was like, yeah, all right, cool. And so you get a little bit higher quality. The other thing is I noticed the floor here, this little like cobblestone floor, basically I just hadn't noticed. It had been low resolution the entire time, despite me upscaling it. I had upscaled it, I had generated a new normal map, but it was one of those hard-coded surfaces in Dark Souls Remastered where basically it refuses to accept the upscale texture. It won't. It will somehow display the unmodified texture, despite that unmodified texture not existing anymore. So really fucking weird. And I ended up fixing that by renaming the texture, repacking it, telling the model file to use the new texture. And also I've been getting rid of this goofy like trim sort of texture they put in a lot of these to like, I end up just deleting it. So you can see in the other areas I went through Blender and I actually like deleted it because I didn't think it looked particularly good. So here, yeah, you can see there's actually just a normal edge between the two surfaces, and there's no longer like that really weird thing that they pasted on the crevices. I don't know. So I ended up just deleting that. And then there was something interesting down here that happened. So I did upscale the pots also, by the way. I finally, the place, oh, that's floating. Shit. The place they have the texture for it is kind of goofy. It's not in the normal texture folder. It's like, it's in the extra 9999 one. But the specular map is stored in one of the regular folders. So why they separated those, no idea. And then I used the spec map, or I used the albedo as a spec map, recolored it, and now it also fits the wet, sort of moist aesthetic. Also, he is completely worshiping, I guess, the pot. I love pot as well, you know, I gotta say. But down here, there's always been something really goofy that I meant to fix for a long time. I didn't. Is actually this floor, this whole section at the bottom here with the wall, but not including the stairs. So basically, if you would tilt the camera, it would switch over and it would take away my normal map again and my upgraded texture. And I realized that there was actually a duplicate. This little bottom area, circular, whatever you want to call it, is actually duplicated. There's two of them. There's one of them that's part of the map piece that includes this wood. And then there's part of it that is included in this bigger map piece that I'm running on up here. Now, why is that the case? I have absolutely no idea. I don't know. They're identical. Like, one is not higher quality than the other. So why would you do that? I don't know. So I went into Blender and I deleted one of them. And so now you get a nice cohesive one without any rotation. The only time it was noticeable, that's the funny thing. The only reason it was noticeable is that I had upgraded I did that spoofing where I renamed the texture and I tell the surface to, okay, use the new texture. Well, I hadn't done that on the other map piece because I didn't know that they were duplicated. Or no, I guess I did know. I just didn't think it would be an issue. And that's when I went, oh shit, okay, I guess I actually have to fix that. So yeah, that's new Londo, doing little updates to that. I moved the fog a little bit. I need to edit the fog to just take out the harsh edges on it. But I'm really happy with how new Londo looks, honestly. I was going to use the elevator, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll remember something I did in Firelink. I might remember. There's enough things that, like, I don't write them down, and that's very stupid. But that's my process is dumb, and that's how it goes. Now, oh yeah. So the other thing is the set that I am wearing, the armor set. This has been fresh out of the oven, redone by Trivia, the talented texture artist that I am partnering with on this mod and the DS2 mod and a future Dark Souls 3 mod. So really cool, but yeah, she's really good at textures. I mean, obviously, if you've been in the channel, you know her. But yeah, it looks pretty incredible. Like, the set looks fucking awesome because she's a PBR expert, and so she's able to modify the spec maps, the albedo maps, and the normal maps to essentially fix all of the issues that Dark Souls Remastered had with how they handled materials, because the way that Prepare to Die Edition versus Remastered handles these things are completely different because their engines are their actual rendering setup is different. And so she's an expert at PBR, which is what DSR went to, but then like half used, half didn't, half screwed things up. So like, she's actually just fixing a lot of those issues. And I don't think I did anything in... Oh, yeah. So, I mean, there is... Let's go to Undead Burg, because there is some stuff there. I posted on Twitter. I need to fix... So these stairs, if you look at the back of all of these stairs, they have no ass. I will be fixing that. But that ties into what I've been doing in Undead Burg, which is swapping over the map pieces to a different, like, material or MTD setup, where by default they're set to like a default material. And for those uninitiated, the material settings that you apply to map pieces or objects or anything, basically the default one is usually M and then bracket D or DB or DBS or DSB, I mean, or DBH. And so what those letters reflect is D for diffuse texture, B for bump mapping, S for specular, H for height map, and then they can add another bracket for L, which is light map. And then there's another bracket or another letter you can add in that bracket, or a separate bracket sometimes, for M, which stands for multi-texture. And so if the surface has different textures that it is actually blending, you use the M. And so there's other ones, those are like the default that start with M and then use those brackets. But then you can use other ones that are like M1 or M_1 wood, and then the same sort of bracket setup. That bracket setup is reused for everything. But they have MTDs for wood, metal, stone, glass. They have so many different variations for different maps. So you can really play around with that. Also, you may be noticing, I've said it on stream, but for those who have not watched the streams, which I do stream on YouTube, by the way, I did not mention that, but I've been streaming on this channel, so easy to tune in if you would like. And yeah, but this is the Boletaria bridge texture. Maybe I did say this in the last video. I don't fucking know. I don't remember. And it fits super well. It is so much better than the cobble texture that was there. And it's also just a really good, I don't know, it's a good homage, not an homage, a tribute. Yeah, there you go. It's a tribute to Demon Souls. As obviously going through this mod, when you go through the texture files, you know, there's been a couple times where you'll see the Demon Souls texture, or you go into the event scripting and you see them talk about world tendency. Like, so the Demon's Souls influence is palpable. And what else have I done in Undead Burg? Because, yeah, I swapped out that texture. I guess we can go up on the bridge. Or no, let's go this way. So the other thing, big thing that I was working on a couple days ago is normally when you would look this way, you would see a bunch of mesh holes on the bricks that were up here on the wall. There were just a shit ton of bricks that had no ass. Oh my god, I just found another mesh hole. Son of a bitch ass hoe ass. I mean, I'm glad I found it. So you can look right there. Yep. Let me take a screenshot. All right, mesh hole number 5,000. Okay, we will. Undead Burg has the most mesh holes out of any area, and it's not even close. Like that. There's. Oh, hey, give me that item. Thank you. Let's go up here. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Okay, fuck them up. Fuck them up. I've also had this really random issue where the game will just completely bomb with no warning or error in Undead Burg, but it's only happened like 3 times. And there's just like no explanation for it. And I go, all right, I don't know what the fuck that was. And then other times it's mostly like 99% of the time been perfectly fine. Also, like right there, I don't know who's dying. I just got souls, but I don't know who just died. Like, it feels like it's I don't know, something's happening there. I don't trust it. There is some UV mapping I would like to fix in here, to be honest. Not on this one. On this next one, it's the UV mapping here. There's just this little, like somebody was working on it, and then their mouse like slipped, and it went yoink. Always funny to me. Yeah, so I went through here, and most of these big fat bricks were fine, but it was actually the bricks on this other side of the wall here. A lot of them had no ass, basically. And then it was this brick here, this brick I'm standing on, that had no backside at all. It was actually thanks to a Discord member that I was like, oh fuck me, okay. And so I added an ass. I gave it a BBL, and I fixed the mesh hole. I also fixed some that were up on the Taurus Demon like tower that he jumps off of. And then the other thing I've been meaning to fix is on these little wall portions here. On the other side, there was a seam that was showing, and so the sun over here would shine through them. You can see it in the current version of the mod if you load it up. I think most people probably didn't notice it, but I mean, because obviously all of these mesh holes were pre-existing, and you know, I didn't notice it when I had played the game so many times. But it's now that my eye is like trained to look for them, I can't unsee it. It's crazy, but it's really good for finding them and fixing them. I just have to tilt the camera in really strange ways, and then you'll notice things that you're not supposed to see, and that most people wouldn't see. But I also think, like, if I can make a more polished version of Dark Souls, then I'm going to do it. Now, there is an issue on the side over here. I've noticed something with the tree. I haven't completely figured out why. Let me take off my helm here. I haven't figured out why it looks like that. There's something happening there. And then there's also a mesh draw group issue going on here. So I gotta look into that because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, the Boletaria bridge texture works so fucking well. Okay, bitch ass. That's rude. You know I'm recording a video. So the funny thing is I have the AI turned off and that event still happens because it's like a separate thing. It's just like an event that gets triggered, so it's not, oh, fuck my ass. Okay, sorry, big dog. Okay, all right, sorry. Yep, I got you. I'm with you. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna, son of a bitch ass. Oh, okay. Sorry, advertisers. I've been saying that during my streams. I'm sorry, advertisers. Very sorry. I curse a lot, and I'm so apologetic about it. Terribly. Yeah, big dog. Thank you. Now you're not going to do anything. So I'm just gonna steal that goddamn tail. I'll let you live, though. I'll let you live. I could kill you. Ooh, titty shard. Thank you. I still hadn't gotten that item, which is hilarious. Oh, funny thing. Funny thing I noticed while I was working on Undead Burg. On these burnt corpses, there's actually like a region point that is set up to have an SFX. To where like it would be actively burning, presumably. And it's just not connected to anything. Like they have one for each of these burned bodies. And it was never connected to like a fire effect. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I don't know why. Or maybe they wanted it, maybe it was a smoke effect. I could see that. So I'm actually really curious about that. I'm not sure why they never ended up like actually connecting those. So I'm going to look into that. If there is like a smoke effect I can use, because I don't know of an actual just smoke effect on its own. I know of the standard torch one that includes smoke that kind of like billows and comes off of it, but I don't know of just a smoke effect for like it being charred. I don't know. I'll have to look into the SFXs for that. But yeah, so really cool. Loving that. Made some changes there. You know, the bridge texture is the ultimate tribute, and that's really where it started, but I like that it stretched into other areas that use it. But it matches up so well. I would like to... Demon Souls has a lot of like really cool textures. But yeah, now you can see this wall. Oh, I think I found just one little tiny mesh hole where you can see where, like right above my head, there's just a really tiny spot that I think is still a mesh hole. But now all the others actually fit really well. So fixing those is super satisfying because there's just so many of them in Undead Burg. And I feel like I'm kind of taking the extra time that From Software didn't have. And I think Q-Lock also didn't have. So I'm in the unique position where I can take extra time to work on stuff. Because I don't have a CEO above me or anything. It is just I. It is just I? Did I just say that? I did just say that. Alright, hey, give me... Ooh, longsword. Thank you. But yeah, you can see the Boletaria texture also stretches out here. I'm super happy with Undead Burg. Oh yeah, that's right. The other thing I forgot. Also smoke comes off this one too. Is I changed the gray point in the tone map bank for Undead Burg and Northern Undead Asylum. So there's a little bit more visibility, but it's still dark and it's still contrasty, but it's just like, ooh, when I made that change, I was like, dude, that's fucking perfect. Like I'm legit like 100% satisfied with Undead Burg right now. And I've never been able to say that before. Like not even close. So super, super happy with that. Oh yeah, I've been meaning to look at the statue because it's a little bit, I think it stands out a little bit, even though it has the effect on it. I think the annoying thing is that the illumination isn't stretching to the nearby areas, which it's supposed to. Also, I've never noticed that there's just like fucking, like that's just a cow on that side. And let me take a screenshot of that. What the fuck? Why have I never noticed that? I'll take a screenshot. Let me rotate my Gwen here. There you go, screenshot. I think what I'm going to do is add the SFX, the candlelight one, and I think I might be able to get or maybe I think I'll just add a manual point light because, like it's a surface that's not going anywhere and it's not breakable. So I'm just going to add a point light to basically flesh this out manually. I gotta remember to do that more often for things that are bolted down. I could just use a point light. Although I guess the problem is that sometimes the point light doesn't show up and only the SFX shows up. But I've had good luck sometimes where I can still sometimes use it. I don't know. I found the system to work, and with using the shader overhaul to bypass those like limitations of the illumination not able to work when there is shadow casting. It's really strange that it works sometimes and then it doesn't work in others. So I don't know why that's the case. Oh yeah, so the other thing I did is, I know the first comment I'm going to get on this video is like, man, you should really write down what you do. It's like, yeah, I know. I normally don't have as much time between releases, so it's not that big of a deal because I usually just go, oh, I'm going to do things. And then, oh, okay, put a new version out. And I was on a pretty good schedule of like every couple days, but now I have a lot of different projects, and it's also more complicated because I'm working on projects with other people, which is just inherently more complicated. I'm so used to just working on my own, and so now there's just more considerations of like, what are they working on? What's their timeline? What's my timeline? Like there's just, and then coordinating files between the different versions, and you know, there's just a whole lot more that comes with it. I love it, but for me, it's been a bit of an adjustment versus just working on my own. I'm definitely better for the fact I'm working with other people, 100%. Yeah, I went up here and I noticed there were a lot of like blank spots that were like holes where you could see into the ground. So I added some trees up here, and then I fixed there was portions. Oh yeah, that part still looks fucked up. I think I need backface rendering on that. But I fixed what was being rendered in Undead Burg. There were just portions that I had not set to render correctly with the different draw groups. So I added a duplicate that was under a different draw group and fixed that. Oh shit, yeah, there's still a hole you can see right there where my head is. Fuck. But I'm gonna end it there. Just a little update for the homies, because I know not everyone likes watching streaming, which is understandable. Hell, I originally didn't either years ago, and then I went, oh shit, I actually do kind of like that. But yeah, if you want to tune in at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, that is when I'll be streaming for usually 2 to 3 hours. And maybe more on Monday or Tuesday. We'll see. But yeah, really liking it. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed these little mod updates. I'm continuously working on the mod. Follow me on Twitter. Like if you want up to date, like what I'm doing, Twitter is honestly the correct place to go. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.